Welcome to the next chapter in HR series. This is employee selection, and this is going to be part one. There'll be another section right after this one. So the objectives here are to examine the objectives of the personnel selection process, learn what is required for a selection tool to be reliable and valid, learn the various approaches to conducting an employee interview, and the various decision strategies employed for selection of a candidate. So selection is basically the process of choosing individuals who have relevant qualifications to fill the existing or projected job opening. The considerations are person job fit. The job analysis identifies required individual competencies for job success, or person organization fit, the degree to which the individual is matched to the culture and values of the organization. While HR assists in recruiting, the actual selection process usually comes from the management team. Supervisors should make or should have considerable input in making the final decision to hire any candidate for a job in their department. The supervisor should not make staffing decisions without considering the legal ramifications of their decision. So, start with a job analysis. The results of a job analysis is a job description, which is a detailed list of tasks, duties, responsibilities, and authority of the employee. And then their specifications, the individual competencies employees need for success, the knowledge, skills, abilities, and other factors that lead to superior performance. Selection is a process of choosing the best applicant to fill the position, and the criteria is, are job-related factors used to choose among applicants who apply for a job? Example, selection criteria should be composed of education, knowledge, experience, test scores, application forms, background investigation, and any interpersonal skills. While selection is a process of gathering information about job applicants to determine who should be offered a position, validation is a process of determining how well a selection test or procedure predicts the future job performance. One often neglected method is to ensure HR does proper background and reference checks. There are specific ability tests, which are tests that measure the extent to which an applicant may possess a particular kind of ability or knowledge required to perform the job. And there are cognitive ability tests. These are tests that measure the extent to which an applicant have abilities in perceptual speed, verbal comprehension, numerical aptitude, general reasoning, and or spatial aptitude. Biographical data is extensive surveys that ask applicants questions about their personal background and life experiences. Work sample tests are those that require applicants to perform certain tasks they're actually going to do on the job. An assessment center is a series of managerial simulations graded by trained observers used to determine applicants' capability for managerial work. So you can see the steps in the selection process are submission of a resume, completion of an application, interview, reference and background checks, pre-employment tests, any medical exam or drug testing, and then it's time to make the hiring decision. Soliciting recruitment and selection assistance, Human Resources handles internal and external recruitment by filling positions through promotions from within and transfers within the company, using computerized databases of employee skills inventories, job posting, and employee biddings for job vacancies in the case of a union. Processing outside sources of job applications are accepting applications, conducting preliminary interviews, making reference checks, checking the background, and possibly administering any skill or aptitude tests. A supervisor must know what information is needed from the applicant, how to get that information, and once you get it, how to interpret it. Understanding the influence of equal employment opportunity laws, only job-related questions should be asked. Selection criteria must be objective, uniform in application, consistent in effect, and have job relatedness. Reviewing the applicant's background, you want to check their source of background information. Is their application complete, and are they consistent in filling out the application? Are their employment test results related to job performance, integrity, honesty, and drug tests? Are their references checked and verified with previous employers? The consequences of failing to check adequately, risks of liability for negligent hiring when background checks were not conducted properly. There are two basic types of interview techniques utilized. One is unstructured. Interviewers are free to ask the applicants anything they want during the interview process. Structured, though, all applicants are asked the same set of standardized questions and thus evaluating their answers to each question and comparing to other applicants. Preparing key questions for a selection interview, you want to list directive and non-directive questions that are vital to the selection decision and are job related. Focus questions on competencies, the skills, knowledge, and personal attributes possessed by the superior performer. A thorough plan for the employment interview is well worth the time spent in preparing it. Thus, you reap what you sow. You put a lot of time into this, you should get good results. Establish a conducive physical setting. Privacy and some degree of comfort are important components of a good interview setting. You want to make the person feel comfortable and relaxed. Opening the interview, a limited informal opening helps to put the applicant at ease, like, hey, so, what do you do in your spare time? What are your hobbies, etc. Then you want to explain the job. Realistic organizational preview. You want to share information by an interviewer with a job applicant concerning the mission, values, and direction of the organization. You also want to give them information that provides a realistic view of both the positive and the negative aspects of the job. There are always negative aspects in any position. You want to ask effective questions, phrase questions to probe for additional details related to information on the application, or ask for specific information relevant to the work situation. Use judgment and tact when questioning applicants. Avoid using leading or trick questions, and take notes. Written information is especially important when a supervisor interviews a number of applicants, and that way you can compare your notes afterward to make your decision. You want to get reliable and valid information. So what is reliability? The degree to which the interview, tests, and other selection procedures yield comparable data over time and alternative measures. Validity is the degree to which a test or selection procedure measures a person's true attributes. So your initial screening should have cover letters and resumes. Some places use video resumes. Check over the application form. In some cases, it's in place or it might be online application. You want to check the biographical information blanks. Do background investigations. Some companies use polygraph tests. Some have integrity and honesty tests. There's graphology, medical examinations in the case of a drug test, employment tests, interviews, and internet check and phone screening. Here is what's called an application or resume assessment grid, and it lists several applicants and the qualifications that you're looking for in the interview process, and then you turn and grade them on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst or poor. On the application forms, you want to check the application date, their educational background, what experience they provide that is relevant to the job. Do they have any arrests or criminal convictions? What's their national origin? What are their references? Do they have any disabilities? And are we compliant with EEO and at-will statements? There's so much to learn about HR, and we'll continue this more in part 2 in the selection process. Be sure also to see the Equal Employment Opportunity and Diversity Management. Thank you for watching and have a great day.